Hello gamers, Ryan here. Welcome back to our Let's Play series. Today is an exciting day. We're finally going to make our skeleton spawn farm. This is going to allow us to get tons of skeleton drops and also a lot of XP. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe. So I found this skeleton spawner a while ago and it's about time that we turn it into something awesome. Let's go check it out. Now this is a tutorial that you can find everywhere on YouTube. It is a really common farm, but I'm going to put my own little spin on it and make a tutorial for you. So follow along to find out how you can make your very own skeleton XP spawn farm. Now our spawner is in here, so the first thing that we're going to do is pop it open and light her up so that it's not dangerous. Now I've gone ahead and cleared out what was in here. I had kind of made a makeshift spawner for early game, and now it's time to turn it into an XP generating machine. Here are the items that we need for the build. We need some building blocks. I'm just going to use stone, some chests. I just have 2 for now, but if you want extra storage, you can grab more chests. 3 signs. A few oak fences, 1 piece of soul sand, some kelp, 2 buckets of water, and some torches. Now you're going to want to clear out some of the blocks around this thing. We're going to be pushing back the walls, but I'm just going to make some space in the general area as I'll be building the walls up around my spawner. Okay, now you're going to want 3 blocks of height above your spawner, like so. 1, 2, 3. Good. And you're going to want 4 blocks to either side cleared out too. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wall will go here. 1, 2, 3, 4. The wall will go here. And the same on these sides. All right, lovely job here. We have 4 on each side of the spawner. And now, just like up above the spawner, we want to go 3 below the spawner. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And we'll dig all of this out as well. Once that is all dug out, your area around the spawner should be 9 blocks by 9 blocks with the spawner in the middle. I've built up the walls around my 9 by 9 cube. And we are all set to go. So the next thing you want to do is make an infinite water source. I'm going to do that like so. And now we can refill our buckets. Okay, so before we place down our buckets of water, we need to pay attention to what way we want the skeletons to flow out of this thing. I want them to drop down into this room and then flow out this way. And this is where we'll make our murder chamber. Of course, another way to say murder chamber is the room in which we will gain XP by the generosity of the skeletons involved. So in other words, if we want the skeletons to go this way, we got to make them flow that way. Let's put the water in these corners so that it flows in the direction that we want it to. Then you're going to want to go ahead and chop up all of the dry stuff here, leaving only the stone with the water on top of it. Okay, the next step is to build our Bubble-vator. This will launch the skeletons upward and allow them to fall back down on the other side, softening them up a bit. That way, we don't have to damage our sword, we could just hit them with our fists. Okay, to make our Bubble-vator, we must find center, and then dig in 2 blocks here, 1 block in, and another 2 down. Here, we'll place 2 fences, like so. We'll break out that block, place the soul sand there. Then we'll break the 2 blocks on top of our soul sand, and this one here. This setup is going to help pull the skeletons from this water stream into the Bubble-vator where they'll go up. Next, you want to place 2 signs here and here. Now this part's a bit tricky. We have to count 23 blocks up from here. So 1, 2, 3. Here, let me get this pickaxe out and we'll start chopping some stone here. I'm gonna make it easier on myself by making this a 2 wide gap, and then I'll just fill this side back in. Okay, we're 23 blocks up, so I'm going to start digging in the direction where we want the skeletons to flow. Alright, so we're 23 blocks up. This is the surface of the 23rd block, and I'm going to cut out some of the stone like that. Make sure it's 3 blocks high so the skeletons don't get stuck. We'll go a few blocks over and place our 3rd sign here. Alright, with our sign in place, we want to make sure to put our water right here so that it can flow downward and it can also flow this way. We'll do it like so, and oh. The water is flowing, so let's get digging. Now we want to go 23 blocks back down. Now, since my tunnel is open to the air right here, I'm gonna fill all of this in so nobody spills out. Good. Hey, would you look at that? Sometimes you find diamonds while you're digging around. Alright, so that's our spawner. The water stream goes up, over, down, and this is going to be our skeleton sortification room. Now, next thing you want to do is replace that block with a hopper, but first we want to put in our chests. Now, I'm going to do a double chest like this and hook it up this way. You can do it however you want, but essentially you want them to land on the hopper and have the hopper go into the chest. It's important to hold shift and click on the chest so that the hopper goes into it as you want it to. Same thing with this hopper here and this hopper here. All right, so now whatever lands in that hopper is going to flow into the chest. Okay, I always run out of space in the chest in these things, so I'm gonna go ahead and preemptively give myself more storage space. All right, again, you can really do this part any way you like, but I know that my storage gets full and it gets messy, so I added some extra storage with some extra hoppers to deliver the goods into the chests. Now I am going to redo this whole area on the outside and make it look really pretty. But for now, we're gonna keep it pretty simple. For that, I'll use some stone. And this is where those stone slabs come into play because you don't want to leave this open, otherwise skeletons are gonna wander out and shoot at you. So if we put this slab here, that should keep us safe. Okay, gamers, we are almost there. We just need to play around with water a little bit longer before we can consider this XP farm complete. Remember that kelp we brought? Well, this is where it's going to come in handy. You want to go ahead and place that on your soul sand block, and we're going to use this to turn every bit of water all the way up into a solid water block. So let's just float on up and we'll plant our kelp. All right, and now when we go back down and break all of this kelp, it should turn that into a column of water source blocks. It looks like it's working. I see some bubbles, but we can test it out to be certain. Like this. Good thing I planned ahead and put this water here, huh? We could have been goners. I'll go ahead and put this back the way that we found it. Perfect. Lastly, in this room, we want to go ahead and destroy these blocks, which is going to allow our water to flow down towards the bubble elevator. Yeah, it looks like it's working. The last thing that we want to do, and this gets a bit dodgy since the water is a-flowing, we want to remove these torches. Skeletons are going to spawn, so we need to get out quick. Destroy our ladders. And we'll see you fellas on the other side. Alright, I cleaned this up just a little bit, adding in some of this cobbled deep slate in with the stone blocks, and I think that kind of blends the wall in a little bit better. You can tell that something's in here, but it fits in the environment a bit better. Same with over here. I adjusted the slabs just a little bit. I raised this up one to save some from fall damage. Essentially, if skeletons were taking any damage before falling, they would just die. So I raised it up just half a slab so that skeletons who had taken one hit of damage prior to falling would survive the fall. Now I'm going to come in here on a stream or in a future episode and really make this place pretty, make a quick and easy way up to the surface, but that is a project for another time. As for now, I'm happy with the rates that these skeletons are spawning and falling down. I'm happy with the XP that we're gaining, and I'm definitely happy with the awesome item drops that these skeletons are dropping for us. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button, and don't forget to tune in next time where we'll do something a little bit different. Bye-bye.